Alright, apparently the BC jackass with 999 nose hairs has decided to make a video mentioning me again because somebody asked him a question, and so he had to say a whole bunch of fucktarded stupid things, and so I'll have to respond to him because he's being all fucktarded again. It's just a terrible blight on the internet. They had to respond to the retards. You see, they open their arrogant, retarded, ignorant mouths, and they can't control their rhetoric, and this is what it causes, and this is why people have to sue them, because they won't shut up unless they get sued by somebody. Somebody has to make an example of one of them, or they'll just keep being reckless, sloppy, dumb, ignorant fucktards. So, on to the audio.
What happened to the lawsuit with the Mentam, and what did you tell us when you two had that little exchange? Well, I've hardly heard a peep from the Mentam. I do occasionally get private messages from people, saying, oh, he said this about me on Stickam, or he said that about me on Stickam.
Yeah, right. You've come out twice on Stickam, and it was more than a month ago, and somebody will ask me a question like, what about the lawsuit? And I just say, okay, blah, 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 blah. But you've actually not come up. It's been Jones or somebody else, and that's the end of that. So, you don't occupy... You barely scrape the neural surface of my brain.
Or said this on his latest video or whatever. Last that I heard, that he has sent subpoenas to everyone that he's planning to sue. And
see, I don't know who you heard that from, because I haven't even requested of the court yet to add YouTube to the lawsuit, and there's literally more than a dozen people who are going to be added to the lawsuit, and they won't be added until I have to get a court order. The judge will give me an order I send to YouTube, and that order will explain to them that they have to provide me with the information, the electronic data regarding these people I intend to sue. That's right, it's my right to sue you. They are they are providing you the service, they're providing you the opportunity to slander me, so by law they're obligated to provide me the information. That's the way the fucking law works, asshole.
If that is the case, and he's completely full of shit, because I haven't received anything in the mail.
Yeah, well, you're not going to receive anything for quite a while. I explained to you before, okay? This is going to take a long time before it all filters out into an ending reality, okay? The last act of this play might be 2 or 3 years away, you dumb fuck.
I haven't had a sheriff knock on my door, handing me a court summons or whatever. He doesn't even know where I live. And
yeah, like I said, but you are a partner. Your check is going somewhere, and wherever that check is going, and whoever's signing that check, that's how I'm going to find you eventually, okay? YouTube's going to provide me with that information by court order, and then you'll be served your papers to account for your behavior, and then you'll file your answer to my complaint, and somewhere in your answer you're going to have to provide an explanation for why you don't deserve to be sued and why the lawsuit is completely erroneous. So you'll have your opportunity to logically demonstrate that you didn't do anything whatsoever out of the ordinary, that you didn't step one tiny bit over any lines, that you didn't take any risks that were extraordinary in your fucktarded behavior. You'll have your opportunity to make your argument, but I don't think you're going to be able to do it, asshole.
And I intend to keep it that way, because I'm not going to let some loser like him, try to interfere with my real life over a stupid Photoshop picture.
Yeah, so you can interfere with other people's lives with your Photoshop pictures, but you don't have to take any responsibility for that. Well, fuck you, you do. You can't call somebody a Holocaust denier and just say, I can do that anywhere I want. I can say it anywhere I want. I can malign and mischaracterize the truth regarding another person's reality, and I can fuck with their reality all I fucking want to, but no, nobody can do this. Nobody can impose justice or require me to explain that behavior.
But then again, I kind of wonder, what if he did get my address and actually managed to pull me up to court? I mean, I'd just love to any sane judge would tear him a new asshole for what...
Yeah, whatever. That's your delusion. That's not what judges do. Judges say, okay, there's a cause of action here, or they say there's not a cause of action here. They do not tear people new assholes for bringing complaints where they think they've been aggrieved. That's the whole point of having a justice system. If judges started doing that, it would be called discrimination. It'd be called, it would violate the 14th Amendment. You know, that's the one that requires everybody to get the same, a balanced treatment by the legal system. You dumb fuck.
Wasting the court's time and money on such foolishness. I mean, we got fucking kids, we got fucking people in Africa, you know, that aren't sure whether they can gather enough money, or not enough money, but enough food and water to keep their families alive. You know, could you imagine if they had an internet connection, seeing, you know, this guy complain about how he's been slandered over a fucking satire photo? It'd be like, man, what a petty son of a bitch. And that's exactly what he is. And anyways, on to the whole court thing.
So wait a minute. So people starving in Africa has something to do with your right to make reckless statements for which you can't prove, okay? That you can't justify making. That's how it works. People starve in Africa, so therefore I must, you know, malign and slander other people. Well, how does that? That's your justification. That's your rationale. I had to do it because people are starving in Africa. I mean, come on.
I think Jones he's been keeping a lot closer track of it than I have, and he and somebody else said he has till October 29th to subpoena YouTube for our IP addresses, and then to subpoena our ISPs for our personal info, and he's got to send them out. And apparently in California, he has to send them out himself, or he.
Yeah, see, it's federal court. You know, so no, you don't even understand the system at all. All right, Jones has received his, so I guess you haven't spoken to him lately, but he did receive his summons, and he has returned it. It's basically a waiver summons. I mean, by federal law, the federal law is rational enough to say, well, we could save a little bit of money if we don't have marshals running around delivering summonses, and so basically under federal law I can send him a waiver that basically explains that, well, if I have to have a marshal come to your house to serve these papers, you're going to pay for it, fucktard. So just answer the complaint. Okay, there's a complaint against you, here's a copy of it, answer the complaint, fucktard, and if you're not going to answer it, we'll send a marshal there to shove it in your nose and you'll pay for it, fucker. And so apparently eternally dying, underlying, smelly cunt, she couldn't handle it, so she returned to sender her summons. So I will get a court order, and the court will oblige a United States Marshal to march up to her motherfucking face and say, look, bitch, okay, you've been served, all right? Now you're gonna have to pay for me to have to come out here and explain that to you and give you the identical papers that were sent to you, because you're too much of a fucktard to accept mail, all right? So yeah, that's the way it's going to work, all right? And you'll be, like I say, eventually you'll get your papers, fucker, okay, and it'll have your little name on it, and it'll say, I'm suing you, asshole.
Has to have a lawyer send him out for him, which, you know, he's too poor to afford an attorney, so he'd have to drive all the way from New Jersey to California to serve out summonses to people who live in California.
You're really dumb enough to think that's how the legal system works? I mean, the legal system is fucktarded, but you really think it's that stupid? That, you know, that somebody would actually have to drive to California to serve a piece of paper? You really think the system is that stupid? God, what a fucktard.
To people who live in Cali, I can't talk fucking tonight. But, and yeah, my voice is hoarse too. So he has to do all that shit by October 29th. And
well, look, October 29th is sort of an important date that I've sort of fucked up on a little bit. But the bottom line is there's this thing called, you know, you file a motion for an extension, okay, and they're basically obliged to give you the extension by what is written in federal law. Now, of course, judges can just fuck people and they can say, I'm not giving you an extension, and it's going to be way too expensive and way too big a pain in the ass to appeal the judge's decision. And so, of course, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't spend $455 to appeal that decision, even though, you know, under the Constitution I would win. But regardless, worst case scenario, I can refile the case tomorrow. So I don't have any real deadlines, asshole. Okay, you only can lose a case when you lose it with prejudice. If I fail to meet some deadline, that doesn't mean I lose. Okay, it just means I lose the money I spent on the lawsuit. Doesn't mean I can refile the exact same lawsuit the next fucking day. So you will be sued, and it's going to, like I said, it's going to take time. And these issues are a little bit complicated, all right. And I got I got like 17 of you fucktards to deal with, and I've got to be careful about what I request, because unlike other companies, I don't have an interest in your personal information. I don't have interest in anything whatsoever but you providing a piece of paper explaining why the fuck you did what you did, why you had any right to call me a Holocaust denier. It was irresponsible, reckless, fucktarded behavior, okay? And you're going to have to pay for it.
Viacom's trying to do the same damn thing. They're trying to get personal information off of everyone who has surfed YouTube. You know, all our usernames. They want to know our IP addresses. They want to know.
Yeah, well, you just slandered, okay, another company. Because you got your facts wrong again. They don't give a fuck about the personal data. What they wanted was to be able to associate individuals with behavior. So if somebody had 17 accounts with YouTube, they have a right to know that one person has 17 accounts uploading their copyrighted material. Okay? They do have a respectable right to know these things. I mean, I watched the Batman movie on fucking goddamn internet for free, okay, the day after it was motherfucking released. Alright, there's obviously some reason for some companies to be a little paranoid about reckless assholes stealing their content and putting it up for goddamn free.